Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. I want to introduce you tonight to Melanie DelMonte, and she's got a really interesting topic that we're going to discuss that she's described as something that used to be taboo. We're going to be talking a little bit about embracing transformation, reinvention, and thriving in your 40s and beyond, primarily because of menopause, and how one deals with that and how you get on with it. Mel lives in Mississauga. She was born and raised in Hanover, Germany. She grew up in Germany and emigrated to Canada in 2010. She started working as a dental hygienist in Germany, then worked as a flight attendant for Lufthansa for 12 years, and then found out that she fell in love with a professional hockey player. Well, I don't know why you want to do that, but fell in love with a professional hockey player from Canada who played professional hockey in Germany, and convinced her to, in 2010, when he retired, move the family back to Canada. And she got involved in network marketing, and we may talk a little bit about that. But in the past 5 years, she's building herself a business and really been focused on menopause and its struggles. And it's become her main focus now. And she's got something that she calls Mel's Midlife Mastery, which is focusing on women 40 plus and menopause, and it's her passion and it's her branding and social media. Fascinating. And then you're also diagnosed with ADHD, which sounds like it's a whole different conversation that we should be having. Anyway, so and you lost 35 pounds recently, and so you're into fitness and you're going crazy. So tell me a little bit about why you got so passionate about dealing with this sort of midlife issue, primarily in regards to menopause.
Oh, yes. How did that I got so passionate about it? I guess it started with, experiencing symptoms, not menopause symptoms. At that point, I didn't even know what it was. And the spectrum is so broad and so weird, I would say, that I had no idea. But the first thing that I was noticing was weight gain. And it didn't matter what I did. I could not get rid of the belly fat that, started to appear. And I am a health and wellness company, and weight loss is part of my branding. That is something that I have done in these 5 years. And I lost a bunch of weight when I started, like 5 years ago. And then about 3-4 years ago, things started to shift, and it didn't really matter what I did. It didn't disappear. So it was very frustrating, which got me then interested. And then I started looking. It's like, yes, my age, maybe perimenopause is something that is appearing. And I did a deep dive, and it was actually happening.
And so tell me a little bit about your deep dive into menopause and some of the issues associated with menopause.
Yes, I would say, so sleeping was a big problem, not sleeping through the night anymore. You started to have like these hot flashes and night sweats. And so looking into, online, it's like, what is perimenopause? When does it start? How does it start? What is happening? Learning that estrogen is dropping, and meanwhile, cortisol levels are rising. And when cortisol levels are rising, the first place that goes is actually your lower belly. So that's why we get a lot of women have a big waist. And I started to change a few things, but nothing was really happening, mostly because, and that gets us into the other topic, is because I also got diagnosed with ADHD, which it was very hard for me to focus and to stay on a topic, or to even like be consistent with anything that I started, because I always rebounded and couldn't, what's the right word here? Yes, the German English, you gotta, I know.
Still translating.
Yes, I'm still translating sometimes a little bit. Yes.
So tell me a little bit about perimenopause. So when does perimenopause start, and what is it?
So it's your hormones are actually starting to change, and that can start in the early 40s to like the mid 50s. Everybody is different. Every woman is different. Every woman experiences a difference. And once your estrogen levels are dropping and your hormones are getting a little bit wacky, you experience a really bright, like a gazillion symptoms that can go from itchy skin to focus, moody, being very moody, and yes, a loss of libido even. I know some women have that. A lot of women have that. And then also the night sweats and hot flashes. I still remember the first time I'm laying on the couch at night and it's like, oh my goodness, what that is that? It was like heat coming from everywhere and you're just like, never experienced anything like this. I'm like, was that a hot flash? I couldn't really believe it, but yeah, it was. And then they start to like appear more frequently. And it was really kind of like frustrating not to know what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to take hormones. My mom had actually breast cancer. So that was something I said, no, I don't want that. So I looked into nutrition. I looked into supplements. I looked into all kinds of things that can help you going through those stages.
And so what was the solution? What'd you do?
So magnesium is one of them. Magnesium glycinate, it helps you to, relax more. It helps with sleep. It helps with, with anxiety. And a lot of people actually are magnesium deficient. And so that's the first one I implemented. Omega-3s also for stress levels and being more calm. And I mean, vitamins is something, or supplements that, or minerals, what I do with my business.
Right.
And it happened to then, is that a year ago? Yes. We were launching a product that is intuitive nutrition. So a product that is balancing your hormones with actually taking them. And I started taking that past, it's almost, February, I would say, or January. And that had a huge impact as well and helped.
And why did you not want to take estrogen?
I know there's like people saying this and people saying that, but I know for having breast cancer in the family, that is something that I was not willing to do or risk. It could increase the risk. I do know that there's people saying this and people saying that, but I just wanted to stay in the natural way and do whatever I can without taking any hormones. Maybe a little bit of fears in there. I don't know.
I had lunch with someone who mentioned that it was looking into some scientific things in regards to menopause. And she said one of the issues with menopause is you produce a lot less oxytocin. And so therefore what you want to do is find other ways to produce it. And for a lot of people, it's some sort of exercise like running or something like that. Is that why you started losing weight or getting into gyms and stuff?
Yes. So I started researching the nutrition part of it. First of all, there were like a few things. Like once your cortisol levels starting to rise, so your estrogen is decreasing, your cortisol levels are rising. You want to keep them low. And there's like a few things. I actually had to like completely change my thinking when it came to nutrition. I did intermittent fasting for the longest time, and it worked great for me. And but then it didn't work anymore. So figuring out is like, okay, I got to start eating breakfast. Have a healthy breakfast. Make sure you have a protein, a healthy fat. You have actually carbs. You want carbs in menopause. If you don't eat carbs, your cortisol levels actually rise again, and then we have the same problem. Also, no coffee on an empty stomach. Again, that'll rise, brings your cortisol levels up. Then
I have coffee every morning on an empty stomach, so that's not a good
you don't
thing.
have menopause. Yeah, so that helped big time. And then instead of doing more cardio, because cardio is another thing that is increasing your cortisol levels. If you do that too much, you want to actually implement weightlifting. So I started focusing on that 3-4 times a week. And I really started super, super slow. Again, be mindful, don't stress your body, and take baby steps. So like one step at a time. I increased weight, and then things finally started to work.
We're chatting tonight with Melanie DelMonte, who is focused on menopause and sort of midlife issues that females encounter, and how to help females with that. We're going to take a break for some messages and come back in just 2 minutes with Melanie and talk a little bit more about her journey and what she's doing and what she wants to do for women. Stay with us, everyone. Back in 2 minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. We're talking tonight about an issue that, I sort of never really focused on. And yet now a lot of females in my world are faced with. And so I thought it would be interesting to chat about with Melanie DelMonte, who's sort of become passionate about helping people with menopause. At 48 years old, menopause and its struggles have become Melanie DelMonte's main focus. She calls it Mel's Midlife Mastery, focusing on women 40 plus and menopause. And in addition, what she wants to do is help women thrive through menopause and live their best life. Weight loss and mindset are her main focuses. She's currently working on some ideas that she's going to share with us about what she's going to do in this regard. In addition, she's lost 35 pounds in the past couple of months. She's in better shape mentally and physically than she was, she says, in her 30s. And she's becoming the best version of herself. She believes we can reinvent ourselves at any age, and she wants to inspire others to do the same. Pretty good. So how did you lose 35 pounds in a couple of months?
I'm really shocked myself, because I started this journey over and over and over again. And this time it was different. I knew it was different. It was a decision that I made, and I was not going to be defeated by my hormones or, estrogen levels dropping and menopause. I actually used it as being my superpower. I'm being aware of it. It was, I just made that decision, and that decision has to start in your head. It has to start in your mind. And that's something I learned along the way. So changing your identity to somebody that you are wanting to be. And that's what I practice. I practice that every single morning. I'm doing mindful training, a gratitude journal, manifestation. And I always pictured myself or gave myself the identity of being that woman that is consistent, that is eating healthy, that is determined, making the right choices. I saw myself as that fit woman who is inspiring others, who does her workouts. And I really worked on my mind and talked to myself that I took on that identity, that was me. And it became easier and easier and easier. And now it's like, it's just there. That's me. I cannot skip a workout. I cannot, not eat healthy, or, it's easier to make those right choices, because that's just who I am now. That's like, I'm that healthy woman that
You're the
I
healthy woman, and you set that scene, and that's who you've become.
Yeah.
So is that primarily through strength training or what?
I would say that strength training has a huge, huge impact as we lose a lot of muscle. Again, estrogen levels are dropping, so is your muscles. So you need to do weight training. You need to pick up those things. And even if it's 5 minutes a day and you start like that, you want to make it easy, because otherwise you won't do it again. You want to start easy and then be consistent, and you will see results.
And you said that you had tried intermittent fasting and it worked for a while, but that's not part of your current solution. It's what? Tell us first about what intermittent fasting is.
Oh, intermittent fasting is there are different times the way it's a 12, 8, no, what is it? A 16 and 8, that's what I did. So I was eating for 8 hours and fasting for 6. And I would have my last meal in the evening and then usually didn't eat till like 11 or 12 o'clock the next day.
So you're still eating breakfast?
Yes.
And it helped, you say?
Oh, yeah. I felt great for a long time.
Why doesn't it work forever?
You tell me. I have no idea. It just did not work anymore. I feel like I kind of destroyed my metabolism with my hormonal changes. My body needed different fuel. My body changed, and I had to change the way I feed my body. And I started with a healthy breakfast. And now it's like part of me. I'm actually waking up hungry now. I never used to wake up hungry. Now I am hungry in the morning. And I drink a lot of water. I have snacks in between, healthy snacks. Always making sure I have a lot of fiber, again, a lot of protein, healthy fats, and I do eat my carbs as well. So I do eat more now, but I also have a working metabolism.
Now, your husband was a professional hockey player, and I understand you've got 2 sons that are very competitive in hockey as well. So you must go through a lot of food in your house.
A son and a daughter.
I apologize. A son and a daughter, and are they both playing hockey?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So you still must go through a lot of food.
Oh, yeah, lots of food. But the good thing is that everybody is kind of like, wanting to eat healthy. So they're loving mommy on that trip of just, cooking fresh and always having the right choices in the house. So everybody's benefiting.
Now, you say the key was mindset change. How did you arrive at this mindset change? Was there some course you went on, or some book you read, or some podcast you listened to? What was the trigger for this mindset change?
The funny thing is I already knew a lot of it because I started personal development about 11 years ago. And I was always fascinated with how our brain works and how can we grow. And I mean, personal development always pushes you out of your comfort zone. And I knew it just required for me to make a decision. And a friend of mine who went on her own journey and became very successful, wrote her own book, and she shifted or had it shifting from self-image to self-identity. And I think that is something that really clicked with me. Self-image is like what we see, but the self-identity is more of like the broader spectrum of who we are. And to work on your mind and shift that. And that really clicked with me. And I started practicing that.
And was there something you did? Did you put pictures on the wall or signs on the wall, or you said you did a gratitude journal? Like, how did you change this self-perception, this self-identity?
I wake up every morning. It's between 6 and 6:30, no alarm. It's just like within me now. And I get up, and the first thing I do is I do my gratitude journal, manifestation, and affirmations. And that's where I already write it down, who I am. It's like you have gratitude for the day, and then you also have gratitude for I'm happy and grateful now that I'm basically the future, but you are already happy for it right now. And then the other thing is I started meditating, and now that I don't have all these squirrels in my head because of ADHD, but we get to that.
Okay.
I actually can meditate, and I do that. And that takes about 45 minutes in the morning that I take for myself before I start the rest of the day.
And so what's this Mel's Midlife Mastery? Is this a company or a coaching or a consulting or something like that you want to do, or just inspiration on social media?
It is for now inspiration of social media, being my branding, going into yeah, really that age bracket, focusing on that age bracket and menopause, in combination with my social retail business. But I do want to kind of spread my wings out a little bit. It kind of give me the idea of maybe making a journal. I'm actually working on that right now. That is like specific for women 40 plus, working on their identity and their goals for weight loss and fighting those symptoms. And got quite a few ideas there. I started. I'm not sure where this is going to lead, but I'm excited about it. And yeah, probably I'm also working maybe on a course of helping to achieve your goals 40 plus again, women and fabulous, and
all focused
yourself.
on people in their 40s.
Yes.
Now 50 is coming up. Have you got a big goal for 50?
Yeah, I want to be even in better shape at 50. And what do I want to do? I don't know. It's like my plans and my vision keeps changing right now. I'm very I feel like I haven't been that inspired in such a long time, and feeling fantastic physically and mentally. So I know there's a lot of ideas that are spooking around in my head. So see where this is going to lead. The kids are going to be out of the house. So one will be out in university, and the other one is he's having his last year in the OHL. So I don't know where he's going to go, but we'll see.
And at the same time as you were going through this menopause and perimenopause, you got diagnosed with ADHD. And I've heard a lot of adults recently that have been diagnosed with ADHD. So tell me how you came to that realization, the diagnosis, and what are you doing about it?
First of all, it's yes, there are a lot of women. From my post that I had on social media, I had so many conversations, women reaching out, having the same issues, where I really realized I'm like, yes, that is a topic that is not talked about. And mostly because ADHD wasn't a thing when I grew up. Like, that was boys running around in the classroom and couldn't sit still. That's all that I thought about ADHD. And it wasn't a thing. Like, girls didn't get diagnosed. So now, in being a Gen X, and a lot of obviously now a lot of women in my age, yeah, they're experiencing things and they don't know what it is. So for me, it was like a friend got diagnosed, and so I did a deep dive into ADHD after experiencing some really weird symptoms getting into menopause. Everything that I had before was amplified. I could not focus anymore. I had overwhelm and anxiety like crazy, and I never had that in my entire life. That I had a heart rate monitor for 2 days and everything was fine. And waking up in the morning thinking about what I had to do and couldn't do anything. I ended up on the couch feeling guilty. It's not like I didn't think about it. I felt like I'm so lazy, but I wasn't lazy. I couldn't stop thinking about I had to do it, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I ended up on the couch, and that gotten so bad that I felt like depressed. I'm like, something is really, really weird. And so I made an appointment, and I had an appointment with a psychiatrist. She was absolutely amazing. And after doing a deep dive into all these symptoms, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's me. And she confirmed my suspicion, and we talked about it, and it explains a lot. I kind of always thought it's like, huh, this is just me. I'm just chaotic. I'm unorganized. I'm forgetful. I interrupt. I like so many like symptoms that are there for ADHD. I just thought this is like, okay, that's just who I am. And it turns out that yeah, I had that my entire life. And I do wonder now what could have been if I would have known that earlier. And would my life had been different?
And so
Because
are you, I apologize. Go on.
things were hard. It's like to find success in what I did is pure willpower. That what like I did a lot of things that didn't stimulate me. And learning about ADHD being a dopamine deficiency, you're basically it's like a performance disorder, I would call it. You want to do things, you know about things, but you don't know how to do them, or you don't really do them. And it took a lot out of me every single time to even read a book, because I didn't remember. I had squirrels in my head always, like daydreaming, going here, going there, not focusing what I read. So I had to reread everything again. So it was hard. And now it's like, okay, it makes sense.
And so did you get ADHD medication prescribed? Has that been the solution?
Yes. I'm no fan of medication, but I thought I'll try it because I was really at a point that I felt depressed and had all this anxiety. And I started medication, and the first pill had me clean the entire house. I can't even tell you. It's like, and then you like check in with your psychiatrist like every week, and you talk about things, and then you go up a dose. And my son is laughing at me. He's like, "What? You want to clean the neighbor's house now?" It's like, what are you going to do? And it was such a shift right away. It's like I felt quiet. I felt motivated. I got up, and I think that had also a lot to do with getting my journey started into being consistent and serious about my health journey, because I was able to focus. I was able to be consistent. I'm more content. I'm more quiet in my head. I am actually getting things done without procrastination. So yeah, it has been actually a blessing for me.
Fantastic. So if females are going through perimenopause and wondering, and or maybe they think they have ADHD, should they reach out to you? Should they go see a psychiatrist? Should they go see their GP? What recommendations do you have?
Well, I'm always open to chat. I can just share from my own experience what I was going through. And you might have ADHD, you might just have I don't want to say just, but menopause symptoms, because they're no fun either. That has also a part. You can have anxiety, you have like a couple like similarities. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, there are assessments you can do. And if you feel like your entire life you had already like things that stick out, that could be ADHD, and now you feel just so bad getting into perimenopause, menopause, I would definitely see a psychiatrist and have an assessment done.
If people want to reach out to you or follow you, is connecting with you on Instagram and following you on Instagram the best way to do that, or what?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook are probably my main platforms. I'm also on TikTok. I don't know, are you on TikTok?
I am not on TikTok. I guess I'm an old generation, not quite on TikTok. And what's your handle on Instagram?
It's Mel DelMonte. It's 34.
Mel DelMonte 34.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, Mel DelMonte 34. Melanie DelMonte, thank you so much for joining us tonight and telling us a little bit about your journey and how you want to positively impact females in their 40s and going through perimenopause and menopause. And really, I think that you've got some great suggestions in regards to the gratitude journal, the affirmations, the manifestation, the self, not just image, but the self identity of who you want to be and who you will be, the nutrition, the health, the workouts. You got a lot of great suggestions. Thanks so much.
Well, there's probably way more, but that's like, that's what I can talk to people when they reach out to me. Yes.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a break for some messages and come back with another interesting story in just 2 minutes. Stay with us, everybody.